Like, what did we get out of this? I can't figure it out. Hey, hi, hello, how are you? I'm Pia. In this vlog, I'm going to be rereading the Divergent series. I have not read these books since I was 12. I was 12 when I first read the Divergent books. I read them in 7th grade. I borrowed them from my friend, and they basically changed the game for me. You know, when I think of the books that got me into reading, these were the books. And I have been thinking about them for a really long time. A lot of people have been making videos about them, and like the movies especially. And it just kind of has been on my mind. I rewatched the movies recently with a friend, and I just kind of want to reread them and see what they are like and what I remember of them versus what kind of the reality of them is like. Just kind of compare my 12-year-old thoughts and feelings to my almost 21-year-old thoughts and feelings. I'm a month away from my birthday, guys. And I don't know, I kind of wanted to do this little fun trip down memory lane. And yeah, so I'm of course starting with the first book, Divergent. I picked up my own copies of these, and they're like old library copies. I picked these up at a used bookstore maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, and I had Divergent, funny story, lent it to the kid I was tutoring a few years ago, and he never returned it, but I feel like that's the sign of me being a good tutor that I got him into reading the Divergent books. So I'm gonna give myself a pat on the back and not feel bad that I don't have the first book. I do need to get it eventually. I'm on Pango and like I can get a hardback, but I really like the 10th anniversary edition of the Divergent book. Have you seen it? I'm gonna pop up a picture because like it is so cute. Like, it is really cute, but it's a paperback, so it like wouldn't match. But then would I buy 2 copies of Divergent? I feel like that's a little excessive. Anyway, I'm thinking about it. But I do have Insurgent and Allegiant here. I don't have 4 either, but I think I am gonna read that for this video because I think it would be really fun because I have never read that book. I don't know why. Probably because it's pointless, but like, I think it would be really fun for content. We have Divergent, which is the first book. We have Insurgent, which is the second book. I vibe with this cover. I'm an Amity stan. Like, I am Amity in my heart and soul. And then we have Allegiant, which is the third book, and then we have 4, which is the 4th book, but it's like just a collection of chapters from the first book told by 4's perspective. Tobias, motherfucking Eaton. I, of course, I'm gonna go start Divergent. I also decided for this video I'm gonna like listen to the audiobooks and read along. So I started Divergent, kicking and screaming. I'm like literally kicking my freaking feet. So I started Divergent and it is so good. I'm dead. I'm deceased. I hate it. I hate that I love it, truly. So there are gonna be spoilers in this video. It's in the title, probably. Some things I forgot about Divergent. Okay. If you're like mapping out a book in like a hero cycle series, we don't spend a lot of time in like ordinary world in Divergent. Like you don't spend a lot of time with like Triss and like being abnegation and like her like living in that world. We're pretty much like, here's the mirror scene and then here's, oh no, she's Divergent. And yeah, so basically we have Triss. She is abnegation, which is, there's 4 factions in this city. We're all in Chicago, right? Or Chicago in Hunger Games. I don't remember. It's not mentioned in this. It could be Chicago. I don't remember. We're all in this one city, and then there's like a big fence and like you can't go outside. And there's 4 factions, and then there's the factionless. So the 4 factions, or there are 5 factions. No, there's 5 factions. 4 fears, 5 factions. Got it. 5 factions. There's erudite, amity, candor, dauntless, and abnegation. Abnegation is what Beatrice Pryor is in, and that's basically the like selfless faction. They're like also the government, and she has the scene in the beginning where she's like looking at her beautiful, I mean every every YA book starts with like the main character looking in the mirror and being like, my beautiful blonde hair is and it's like perfect way to like describe a character because just have them in front of a mirror, and I love it. I love it. I love the tools. What I didn't realize about kind of something about Triss is she has a character. Like she has characteristics and it's crazy. Like it blew my mind because they're really watered down in the movies, and I have most recently watched the movies. All throughout, like I've read like 20% of it so far, but all throughout the kind of opening chapters, as she's, you know, taking this test that's going to determine which faction she's in. She's Divergent. Should be in 3 of them, more than normal. The whole time she's like thinking about Dauntless, and she sees the Dauntless and she like has this like adoration of them. And I never knew that about Triss, like that she really loved Dauntless and was always hoping to be like a Dauntless, and like that never really like registered in my mind, or like that she had this like hope before sorting, it's Harry Potter, before like the whole like choosing ceremony and stuff like that she like always wanted to be in Dauntless. So it was really interesting to me because like I think it tells a lot about her character that she never fit in abnegation, and she always kind of wanted to be these protectors and these kind of more brave people. And I don't know, I thought that was really interesting. I was like, Veronica Roth standing out. 4's hot. Like 4 is so hot. Like 4 steps on the scene. And I don't know, it's so obvious to me like who he is, that he's Tobias Eaton. He's the son of the head of abnegation, who's the head of the fucking world, and his dad was like abusive. He ran away to Dauntless, and it's very obvious to me because I've read it. He is, the way he like interacts with Triss is so interesting to me because he like doesn't talk to anyone else except this one girl. And I just think it's really funny, and he's hot, and it's great. I have not gotten to the knife throwing scene, but when I do, you best believe we will be talking about it. I want to say that in the movies, they like her friend group in Dauntless, once she like gets there, is like smaller. I think they only basically focus on Triss, Christina, and Will, but Al is also there, and he's kind of like one of their friends as well, which just like should be noted. There will be a butter knife scene. Interested to read that one because that one has stuck with me, and it's not in the movie, but someone gets stabbed in the eye with a butter knife. I don't remember who it is. We'll talk about it when we get there. Because I'm having so much fun reading this, and like I was feeling really ill actually when I was reading this, and I was really sad, like really bummed that I couldn't listen to the audiobook because I was feeling so ill. It was like, it's such a pleasant read. It's very fast-paced. It's very engaging. I feel like I have a hard time articulating whether or not I think something's like actually critically good, or whether or not I think it's a good like read, like a thing that was good to read, pleasant and enjoyable to read. It's another reason why I wanted to read this, because I read Fourth Wing and I was like, this is the same feeling, like this, I have to keep reading, I have to flip to the next page, I need to see what's gonna happen. And I feel like that little kid again. And it's crazy. It's really awesome. These are pretty long books, so it's gonna probably take me a little bit to read the rest of Divergent, and then I'll let you know when I get further into it and my thoughts and feelings as I'm reading, and then once I start on these ones. If you have any tips for how to get the library stickers off, or just like stickers off in general, let a girl know. That's what we're reading. That's what's going on. It is a wonderful time to be alive. I hope this inspires you to reread these books, or maybe they'll be really bad. So maybe it doesn't, but let's find out. So I'm about 20% more into, I keep wanting to call it Dauntless. It's called Divergent because I'm so ingrained in the Dauntless culture right now. One, we have had a mention of Dauntless cake because thank the lords, the chocolate cake there is perfection. We had a like family day, which I did not remember, where all the families of like the Dauntless initiates come, and Beatrice's mom comes, and this is where we find out that she is Dauntless, and she knows that her little girl is a Divergent, and you kind of get the feeling that like maybe she is too, but she's like, it'll be great, you'll blend in here, and like just stick to it. What else? So we've had some training with 4, which we love. Triss first, like in her first fight, she fights Peter, and Peter's kind of like the antagonist. Like the world is the antagonist of this book, but he's like the like embodiment of antagonist in this book, and because he's just like a dick, and so she has to fight him, and he just like wails on her, and I did not remember that they fight. And then she fights another girl named Molly after they like rip her like towel off of her at one point after she's getting out of the shower or something. She like literally beats this girl to a pulp and wins. She like rises in ranks. She's like at number 5 now, and they're cutting people. And yeah, I'm really liking Triss. I love her mom. Her mom is a slay. I love Uriah. Like I forgot about Uriah, and then I was like, oh my god, this man, I love him. And oh, there's this whole other plot line with Al, who I told you is like more of a character in the book. I'm sorry, I'm gonna stop comparing it to the movie, but so Al is like their friend and he is kind of cozying up to Tris and she's like, no. She's like, no thank you. And it's really awkward. And he's also just like this sweet like baby. Like he's like such a baby. Like he won his first fight and then was like, I want to never fight someone ever again because like that was horrible. And I think he's Dauntless born. I could be making that up. He is just having a rough go of it. Now he's at like the bottom of the pyramid, Abby Lee style. And I did get to the butter knife scene. And one thing I forgot about the butter knife scene is, so the guy that gets stabbed in the eye with a butter knife is this random ass dude. Like it is a guy named Edward and no one knows this guy. Like I don't know if he's like transplanted from Stephenie Meyer. I don't know what his deal is, but like he is not like a core character or a character that has been mentioned before he got stabbed in the eye. So I think that's really interesting. I feel like they should have established him before getting stabbed in the eye, but maybe that's just me. But he did get stabbed in the eye and now they have the day off. Trucking along, having a good time, having a blast with this book, to be honest. I can't wait until we get to like the political intrigue and like finding out about the world. That stuff's really fun and interesting. As much as I love the Dauntless fun and games, it's a little bit brutal. I feel like the world politics is more interesting, I think, to me. What a conclusion, an explosive finale. The end of Divergent, I think, is like really anticlimactic. Like, I feel like nothing really happened. I did finish Divergent. We find out that 4 is Divergent. We find out that basically the erudite are planning to take over, and they do. They mind control all the homies. Who dies? Will dies. Tris kills Will. Crazy. Al also died. I don't remember if I mentioned that. Yeah, Al died. Tris saves Peter, even though we hate him. Tris's family shattered, pieces, scattered ashes. Her parents are both dead by the end of this book. Corgi. Pretty much like the end of the book, it's just like, we're factionless now. We don't have a home. It's like wind blowing through her hair. Like it's funny. But anyway, it is about that time to start on Insurgent. Now Insurgent, I don't really remember how much I like this one compared to the other books. Like I feel like Divergent is very like well solidified in my brain. Like I know the plot of it very well. Insurgent, I know what they did in the movie, which is bananas to me. They added a magic box. I don't remember what it actually is in the book. I remember we hang out in Amity for a little bit and I love me some Amity. If I was any faction, yes indeed I would be Amity because I'm just like a chill, like I want to like braid each other's hair and like hang out in the like garden and like have a little time. Other than that, I don't really remember what exactly happens in this book, so I'm interested to relive it and find out. That was still another long book, 520 pages. So good thing I have Katie on sprints right now. You can't see her, but that's okay. So I'm gonna read some of that on sprints. I have a little cookie here for some fuel. We're just gonna power through hopefully like a good chunk of this book. Like I'm not sure how much we can get done, but I'm hoping to get a good chunk of this book read. Amity just drugged Tris. They fully got her really high. And I love that for them. I kind of love that they have a pee serum that just gets everyone groovy. And that is the most Amity thing I've ever heard in my entire life, and I'm kind of obsessed with it. My faction, guys. My faction. I felt like we might enjoy a little change of pace from me sitting on my bed. Now, 163 pages into Insurgent. So we start off in Amity, the gang's in Amity, they're taking like refuge there, and they have to follow by the Amity rules, which is mostly like peacekeeping and pulling your weight and stuff like that. They're not really good at this because they want to start fights, particularly Tris. Like, have we met her? And she starts a fight with Peter, gets broken up. They're like, give her the drug. That's the drug scene I was talking about before. Eventually they're like, we gotta leave, we gotta get out of here. But Tris overhears something happen, a conversation between Marcus, who is the leader of Abnegation, who's also Tobias Four's father, and the leader of Amity, who is Johanna. And they're talking about something Abnegation has, something that Erudite is looking for, some information, and just like all very secretive and stuff like that. And Tris confronts Marcus about this, which is like the stupidest absolute idea. Like, this is a lying cheater who beats his children and wife. Like, why would you think that he would be honest with you? Like, I don't know. But she does, and no avail. But then the Erudite basically come in full force to Amity, and they're like, we gotta take these homies. And they basically escape and they run away and they hop aboard a train And when they hop aboard this train, there are a bunch of people on it, and these people are factionless, and they're like, we're gonna kill you if you don't get off this freaking train. And they're like, okay, we like don't have anywhere to go. We're literally running away from also being killed. Mr. Tobias, savior of them all, is like, my name's Tobias Eaton. And they're like, the real Tobias Eaton? And they're like, yeah. And they're like, oh my god, we have Tobias Eaton, she's been looking for you, or whatever. And I kind of forgot about this whole plotline, which is like kind of a big plotline in this book. But I kind of forgot. Find out, we go over to the factionless, and they're like basically their own faction. They've figured out how to make their own community, and which is really lovely. Found out that like the leader of the factionless is Tobias's mother, who was presumed dead until about a year ago. Evelyn, she's got her own plans, you know. She's cooking up her own schemes, and she wants to involve her son in them. He's not sure about it. Then they go over to Candor, because they Candor. They find out that half the Dauntless are in Candor, half of them went to Erudite, and the ones taking refuge in Candor, so they go over there and they get arrested. Boom, on the spot, and they're like, what the fuck? Why are we getting arrested? Tristan 4 get arrested, and they get put under this truth serum, and they have to like tell the truth about what happened when they shut down the simulation in the first book. And they do that, and it's great, except the last question that they have to answer is their biggest regret. And this whole book, Tris has been like, I can't tell anyone I killed Will. And sure, girly, like, should you have killed Will? Probably not, but like, were you in a life or death situation? Yes. So like, the fact that she's keeping it the secret, and it's like literally talked about every fucking page that she's like, I killed Will, I can't tell anyone, I can't tell, blah, blah, blah. And then they're like, what's your biggest regret? And she's like, well, I killed Will. And then Christina's there like, my fucking boyfriend, like, what, why did you do that? And and Tobias is like, I thought we told each other everything. And like, it's just like a really stupid beat. I don't know. I just think that was a stupid thing for her to hide, but I guess it was tension. So that's basically where I'm at. Tobias is mad at Tris because she kept this secret from him, and she was like, well, why didn't you tell me, like, you had a mom? Like, and she was factionless. And he also said he was gonna leave Dauntless to be factionless at one point in the like truth serum ceremony or whatever. It was because of Tris that he stayed in Dauntless, and I was like, that's silly. Anyway, there's still a lot of this book left to go. A lot of things need to happen. We gotta find out this big secret that Abnegation was keeping, but that got stolen from the Erudite. I don't know, have there been any surprises so far? I think Tris definitely gets really more annoying in this book. Like in the first book, I think she's kind of fun, but in this one, she is just kind of picking fights and stuff. But I'm gonna give it to her. You know what? Her parents just died. She just saw her parents, both of parents die in front of her. Like, I'm gonna give it to her. This is like her Order of the Phoenix. Like, this is her angsty era. I'm gonna give it to her. It's okay. 400 pages left of this book, so a lot more is going to happen. I don't know. I think the biggest surprise is like how much they underestimate the factionless. I think it's a really interesting element, and I'm stupid for forgetting about it. I don't know. It just makes sense. Like, people build communities, and I think that was like, I don't know, such a like smart thing that like the kids or like, you know, these teenagers wouldn't think about. They wouldn't think like, oh, these people were giving clothes and stuff to these like homeless, houseless people are by themselves. Like, it's a really weird assumption, but definitely like a younger person's assumptions to make. Of course, the adults in the room are like, no, like everyone is able to find community, and like that's a really wonderful thing about humanity. And this book is all about humanity and the fractures of humanity. But I really like, I mean, like, I like what this book is saying, and like is, I don't know if it's like teaching you anything. I do think that it's not like a bad book to read as a kid. I mean, I didn't turn out too bad and I read them as a kid, but I think I had a conversation with someone recently, and they were saying that this kind of produced a lot of pick-me girls, which I can understand. You know, like, we're reading about a world where like the most special person is someone that's just a person. Like, in most ways, like, she doesn't really have like a special ability. Like, she's trained and like done stuff like that, and she whatever, but like she is like, the whole idea of being divergent is just being a whole person, and like a whole multifaceted person, and Tris isn't even all 5 factions, so to them it felt like it validated just being a person. And I think that's a kind of like really beautiful thing like, is to have this validation of being a person, that you are so many different things all thrown in together in one. And like, I don't know, I think that's a really like nice message for young adults, is that like, you are capable of so many things, and you are a whole well-rounded person. And like, I don't know, maybe that idea that makes you special is like, you're just like everybody else, you're not special by you. But anyway, I don't know, I was just thinking about that conversation I had, and wanted to share. I'm gonna go back to reading this. I read this all like in one sitting, this 160 pages, and I wanted to read more. But I forgot how long they are. Like I do read them fast, but they are long, folks. I'm gonna do some more reading and check back with you when I have an update. This book is so angsty. This book is so angsty. My voice is really low, but the book is angsty. Hi friends, I'm in my packed up apartment, guys. I'm moving tomorrow, but I need to update the vlog and everything is packed, including my vlogging camera. So we're gonna do, oh, the lighting is so much better in here. Let's do this update here. Okay, so I finished Insurgent and I couldn't vlog because I was in the car, but I finished it and here's my live reaction. I like died. I don't know why. Okay, I was so excited. I don't know why I was like forgetting that this was the ending of Insurgent, not the ending of Allegiant, but I was. And so I was so excited when that damn message came up and that lady was like, you guys were an experiment and like we were trying to fix everything and now you're ready to come beyond the fucking gate. I was screaming, I was crying, I was throwing up. I was so excited. It took a while to get there. It took a while to get there. Tris had to betray 4, which like, do we care at this point? Are they endgame? Like, yes, but they're so annoying. And she teamed up with Marcus and Johanna to like go find out what the secret was, which ended up being kind of fruitless. But then 4 believed her. Love her, love that for them. I also want to point out one thing in this book is that at one point, so like we're really mad at Tris this whole book because she's like self-sacrificing and she's martyring herself out and she's just basically being like, I don't care about my own life, everyone else matters. And at one point, Tobias is talking to her, or she's like, it's okay, you'll find like another girlfriend. And he's like, no, I won't. Like, I need you to be here. And I'm trying to remember because I'm pretty sure I haven't read Allegiant yet, but I'm going to in this vlog. But I'm pretty sure that once he, what even is in my background? Anyway, once Tris dies in Allegiant, he dates Christina. So like, I'm pretty sure homie was lying, which makes me sad. But I'm gonna read Allegiant now. I have nothing to do. I'm alone in my apartment. The movers are coming at 7:30 this morning. We just kind of knew they installed the new freaking oven and stove while I'm moving out, which I think is kind of rude. This is my empty apartment tour. It's not empty at all, it's just packed. So that's the update for now. I'll probably come back into the kitchen for some more rambles once I read more, finish, read some of Allegiant. Y'all, it's not even like that much later, but I just remembered 4 has a perspective in this, and I just got so confused. Oh my god. I'm sorry, it's not that big of a deal, but like, why does he have a perspective in this? I want to find out. Is it important? Is it necessary? Was I a little bit scared when the male audiobook narrator came on? Yes, I was. I was scared for my life. I might be in a different location. That is because I'm in my new apartment. But I'm still in fact reading Allegiant, because this is a long book, let me let you know. Maya's just found out. So they're at like the kooky, like futuristic, like actual world place. They found out they're in Chicago. They were in Chicago the whole time, which I was right about. So like thank me for that nugget of knowledge that I actually retained from these books. Chicago, thank you. That they're like little city with Chicago, and that there's a big wide world out there. It's great. I don't really like Tris's mom was like from the outside world and she came into the experiment, like so kooky crazy. Like she really is the chosen one. But Tobias found out that he's not divergent. Oh my god. The crowd went wild. The crowd went crazy. There were riots in the streets. He's really mad about it. Like he is so pissed that he's not divergent. Cause like it means you're broken a little bit, which like who is it? You know, these days, I don't know. It's very funny. So yeah, he's pouting about it. That's about where I'm at. We're just not sure if we're gonna trust this whole world because we don't know anything about it. While we're like watching, they're like watching everything that's happening in their old, like in Chicago. Everything that's happening in Chi-Town. They're watching it all on like TV screens and like seeing the chaos that is going on down there, which I guess is what everyone was doing before that. I'm currently making some meatballs. I'm trying to meal prep for the week because I have class this week. I'm not going to read for today. We're gonna have to read it tomorrow. Vlog is extending much further than I thought, but welcome to my new apartment. This is not a pleasant angle for the vlog. I'm in a hallway. You'll see more of it eventually. But yeah, that's the update. I don't really love this book, gotta be honest. Not live laughing and loving this experience of Allegiant. So I can't remember if it was in this book, Allegiant, or if it was Insurgent, but there was a gay character. Oh, I think it was Insurgent. I think it was Insurgent because I think there's a lesbian character, but they just mentioned a gay character. And I had no idea these books were queer. I had no idea these books were at all a little bit diverse. I mean, they're like very like 2010s YA, so like take it with a grain of salt, you know what you're getting into. But like, it is surprising to me that there's even any queer like representation in this book, and I'm like screaming for it. Like there is one sentence and I'm like, yes. I'm so excited. But the people are mad. I'm also, my air conditioner's on. Hold on, let me turn it off. While we chat, this is my room, by the way. It's, what has happened so far? Basically, Bias got it in his little pretty brain. I think we're gonna like take down the government, take down the US government. And honey, that did not work. They got like arrested. And Trish was like, you could have listened to me. You could have listened to me. I may be 16, I may be your girlfriend, but you could have listened to me. So that's where they're at. They're like in this constant little tension phase of their relationship where they're like kind of broken up, but also like every time they see each other, they make out. So hormones are raging. I have to keep reading this book, so let me go back to the gayness. I'm gonna take off my face mask and talk about Allegiant. So I finished Allegiant. Okay, the whole time I was convinced that 4 starts dating Christina, and it's not true. Maybe it's in the movies that happens, but like in the books, it's not a thing. So I was like hating 4 this whole time because I was like, you literally betray the memory of your dead fucking girlfriend. Because plot twist, Tris dies. But more importantly, Uriah dies, who is my favorite character. So that was really sad. I did almost like tear up a little bit just because I was like, these people are fucking like teenagers and they're risking their gosh darn lives for the sake of humanity, and it's really sad. So yeah, but it didn't really. I did do a face mask. I also was just kind of bored. I don't know if I mentioned this, but right now my apartment does not have any Wi-Fi, and it also is a dead zone, so it doesn't have any signal. So I've just been reading. But I finished Allegiant. I am probably, maybe I'll just finish doing my skincare. I will read 4 probably tomorrow. I have to read a book for my podcast that I did in fact procrastinate reading until the night before we're recording. Other than that, we're doing so good. I don't know, I kind of didn't love this book that much. It didn't have like the same magic for me that I feel like the other 2 Divergent books have. Maybe because it was like real worldy and I was like, yeah, the government sucks. And I feel like it was really trying to be an allegory. It was like everyone hates people with differences, and I was like, oh, we get it. Like that's why, that was the whole Divergent thing. But now they're like, no, the real underdogs are the genetically damaged people, and they're the real people being marginalized and whatever. And it's like, it's literally trying to say the same exact thing but just in a different way. So I don't know, I thought that was kind of lame. And the whole like plotline with like Triss's mom and like this other random guy from like her teens who like was obsessed with her and in love with her, and then her like diaries and stuff. Weird. I don't know, I didn't love it. I didn't love it. And Triss and 4 were like off and on, and then they like had sex. And I was like, okay, it happened. It was a book. I feel like I'd give that one like 3 stars. Okay, so I'm rating 4, which I don't know if I mentioned this. I like literally don't remember what I said in that first clip, but 4 is the only book of the Divergent books that I haven't actually read before, so it's not gonna have any of the nostalgia. It's not gonna like, I have no memory of it because I never read it. So I just read the first story. So basically like 4 is a collection of 4 short stories about 4. But in my like audiobook at least, there's like, I don't know, there's things that say Triss and I'm like getting confused. But anyway, so the first one is the transfer. So basically we're following 4 before he was 4 in abnegation. We have it like his little test thing. I like already forget what all these things are called. Oh my god. His, I don't know, his test, and then his choosing ceremony, and then his like first few days, actually not really first few days, like first day at Dauntless, and then like he gets named 4 and whatever. So far, like I don't know about 4. Like I don't know if I like really think he's that. See, the thing is, I think if he was a different character, he would be a really interesting character, but something about the way that 4 is written is not very interesting. Even though he has like this real, like, I mean, like if you're going from like this guy, this kid in abnegation who is growing up with this abusive father, his mom died, or so is told, and his dad is also the leader of like the entire Chicago, and no one knows that, you know, he's this horrible person, and then he goes to Dauntless, which is like the complete opposite of abnegation, in order to like kind of like get away from that, and like that should be interesting, and like it is interesting, but like for himself is not a very like engaging character. At least in this, like, I don't know. I think when he's up against Triss, like, it's a really interesting relationship because they are so similar. Their dynamic is more interesting to read about than just 4. I don't know. But anyways, the next chapter is called The Initiate. But yeah, so I'm reading this and I don't feel anything towards it currently. But I'll let you know if I do, because it's a short book, and you know what I love about a short book? A short book can really pack a punch. It can be concise, and it can like be succinct and really get a point across, and I'm hoping this book does that. Will it? I don't know. I've cried a lot today, but none of it has to do with 4, but I wanted to let you know. I just finished 4, and my apartment is really cold right now. That's why I'm wearing a sweatshirt. I just turned my air off, so it will get warm again. Hi, I just finished 4. I'm doing amazing. Truly. Well and truly doing amazing. Okay, so I finished 4, and I have to say that it was one of the most pointless books I've ever read. Like, I truly don't know why that book was made. It's unfortunate because, like, even in Allegiant, I was like, do we need this perspective? Like, I understand, like, Triss is gonna die, and, like, RIP for her. 4 doesn't give anything. Like, his performance doesn't give anything, his character doesn't give anything. I apparently can't fucking speak, but I genuinely like don't know what I'm supposed to get out of this book, other than the fact that like basically the only like new information I found out through reading this book, and I will enlighten you as well, is that 4 knew about kind of what Janine was planning to like take over the mind control, the Dauntless. He knew about that before that was gonna happen. So that was interesting. Super important. Yeah, I don't know. And so yeah, I mean, we got like scenes where we saw like him see his mother for the first time in years. I don't know, it was a long time since he thought she was dead. And we got like his like training as a young person, and then like, I don't know, like what did we get out of this? I can't figure it out. Let's do a cute, let's like rank, ow, I just scratched my face. Okay, let's do a ranking of the books in order from most favorite to least favorite. Okay, so I think we're gonna put 4 at the bottom because this one, it was not. And then we're gonna put Allegiant because Allegiant also was not really slay. It was too like normo for me, and I didn't like it that much. I give it 3 stars. I think I'm gonna also give 4 3 stars. Actually, it wasn't that entertaining. I might give it 2. I don't know, no skin off my fucking back. And then 2, ooh, is Insurgent better than? That is so interesting. Now I have to choose between my 2 babies. For context, I gave Divergent and Insurgent both 5 stars. They're both fantastic books. I'm gonna say, because of the explosive finale, I'm gonna put Insurgent above Divergent. I'm gonna put Divergent in 2nd place and Insurgent in 1st place because that ending got me. Like, it was so fun, and it was just like what I've been waiting for, and I was very excited about it. And I also just think there's more to sink your teeth into in the sequel. So I hope you enjoyed me rereading Divergent as I basically finished this summer before my senior year of college, which is where we're at, and now I'm a senior in college. I know, I should stop kicking my feet. I'm kicking my feet. So that's where we're at in life. Maybe if all goes according to plan, we will be back here in another 9 to 10 years. We'll be back recording this video. Fingers crossed, all goes well for me. And we'll read them again and see how we feel about them in my 30s. That would be so fun. That sounds actually like really a good idea. Let's bookmark that idea for later. Anyway, so that has been this video. Let me know if you've read Divergent, if you read them as a kid, or if there's a series that you read as a kid that you want to reread as an adult. And if there's a series that you guys think I should read and review in this way, that's like a childhood nostalgic series. I did read the Hunger Games books for the first time recently. And by recently, I mean, like 4 years ago, but like I've done this before. I'm thinking my next little idea is to do the Giver books, because those were my favorite books. But anyway, if you have any ideas, let me know in the comments down below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe to all the things, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!